This is Cheap Plush, our FIFA 23 account that we haven't spent a single dollar on and in 1 week have taken from Division 10 all the way into Division 1. My plan for today is to put another 100 hours of free progression onto this account and then find out if we can take it from Division 1 into the Elite Division, a feat which only the top 1% of FIFA players have achieved. So day 1 is starting in the best way possible because our season rewards as well as the division rival rewards are ready to claim. But when I went to open these rewards, wait, what is this? Yeah, apparently EA messed up and we got some free player picks. Okay, first player pick, not really gonna improve our team at all. Let's go ahead and open the second player pick now. Wait, we just got Pineda, which was extremely good because he's a card that's worth 400,000 coins and improves our chances at making it into the Elite Division ever so slightly. Next player pick. Oh, that's the same right back we have in our club, and that means we get to sell our right back. And this was extremely important because we needed a lot of coins because I wanted to upgrade our defense by adding Tomori's team of the season card at centre back before the final day when we tried to push into the Elite Division, and I felt like Tomori would be the difference between us staying in Division 1 or making it into the Elite Division. I then went ahead and opened all of our season rewards as well as our division rivals rewards, and we did actually back some team of the seasons, but unfortunately it was the same cards who we already had in our team, but we can use these cards as fodder, and that is extremely important because in the last video I opened a 90 plus prime icon player pick and I got absolutely shafted. So before the final day in this video, I want to have racked up enough fodder to build another prime icon player pick so that I can redeem myself. I then opened a random SPC pack and to my surprise we actually packed a tradable Casemiro from it. This allowed us to make a little bit more coins, but if we were going to purchase Tomori before the final day when we tried to push into the Elite Division, we were going to need to make a lot more coins, and the best place to do this would be the Champions Finals. Now before playing in the Champions Finals you have to qualify first, and this is exactly what I set out to do for the rest of day 1. And our first game in the Champions Finals went incredibly well. On top of this, it was extremely fun because we got to try out Pineda, and he was so much fun to use. He also made the games a lot easier because he provided a lot more in the attack, and this allowed us to get our first win. And I think destruction is the perfect term to describe exactly what happened to our opponents in the next 4 games, because in these games we could literally not stop scoring and we just won every single one. And after this we were 5-0, and this means that we're now qualified for the Champions Finals. And as you guys know, the more wins we get, the better rewards we can get, so I decided to try and win as many games after this as I could. Now before going into these games, something happened to me that never ever happens in FIFA, and that is the fact that I actually made profit from my preview pack. We packed a tradable 87 rated Verratti, and this is going to allow us to get a little bit more coins, but unfortunately after this pack things went back to normal and I packed a worthless player in the next one, but we can at least list Verratti now, and then he should have sold once we're done playing our games. So we went into some more games and we just continued to destroy our opponents. I mean, look at this one. Pineda? Oh, it's 7 now. There has to be a point where you decide that there's no coming back. But then, oh no. Oh crap, he actually scored. And then, no way, he actually scored a second. He might actually make the comeback. But then I scored 2 more goals after this just to balance things out once again. And yeah, this one ended 9-2. And eventually our qualifier games were done. Some of our players had sold and we now had our qualifier rewards to open. So I opened these qualifier rewards and unfortunately we didn't pack anything special. However, there was some cards here and there with some decent value, and selling these cards could potentially allow us to earn quite a bit of coins. So I listed everything that we'd packed, and we'll find out tomorrow if these things sold, because for now, day 1 has come to an end. So our players have sold and we now have half of the coins that we need to be able to get Tomori. I then checked to see what the highest rated squad that we could build with all of the fodder that we had in our club was, and we couldn't even build an 87 rated squad. On top of this, we didn't have team of the season players to use when squads required a team of the season. And since we needed coins to get Tomori and fodder to be able to do this icon pack so I can redeem myself, I decided that the Champions Finals would be the best place for us to spend the next 2 days, because not only could we make a lot of coins from this and get a decent amount of fodder, but if we managed to get 14 wins, we'd get a pack that guarantees you 3 team of the season players. And with the ultimate team of the season running at the time of recording, this could be massive for our account. And the first game started off incredibly well. Mbappe? Nice finish. But shortly after scoring this goal, oh no, he's actually scored. But not only did conceding this goal wake me up, it also woke up Mbappe? Yes, we're back in the lead. And it seems like our opponents could just not contain our Mbappe. Neymar would then score a 4th goal, which would cause our opponent to forfeit, and this meant that we'd won our first game in the Champions Finals. But the second game would go exactly the same as the first, and the ending scoreline would be 4-1 as well, and the only difference in this game is that instead of pausing to leave the game, our opponent would just end up turning his console off. But it would be in the 3rd game where our fun ended, after I scored that goal, because our opponent would then go ahead and score a goal of his own, and after scoring this goal, none of us would be able to score against each other, and this game went to extra time. However, in extra time, Mbappe would score a goal for us, which gave us the lead and meant that if we just hold this lead, we win this game. And so we held the lead and we won the game, right? Well, that's at least what I thought, because after the game ended, I was shown the screen for an entire 2 minutes, and eventually I just got tired of waiting and I decided to restart my game, because surely this result would have counted by now. And after restarting my game, there's no way they just gave me a loss for a game that I just won. And to make things even worse, if we were to get 14 wins, we could only lose 6 games. And to have a loss at 3 games in, getting 14 wins looks way less likely. But if things weren't bad already, in the next game, I'd end up going down 3-1. And I was so annoyed that the game counted as a loss, but I knew that it was best not to let this affect me. So I started working hard to get back into this game. Neymar? Nice, that's 1 goal back. We just have to score 1 more. Pineda finds Mbappe. Can Mbappe score? Yes, we do! The game's tied up, but after working hard to get back in, no, we just gave away a bad goal. But this just meant that we had to work even harder. Mbappe? Yes! The game's tied once again. We need to make sure we don't concede. And in literally the last minute of the game, oh, he's just passed the ball to me. Pineda? He scores the winner! And every win that we get is so important for the outcome of this challenge. Which is why games like this one should not be something that ever occurs. Because after being up 3-1 in this game, I ended up conceding 3 goals straight and losing 4-3. And this means after 5 games, we had lost 2 and only won 3. And if things were to continue like this, we would not achieve 14 wins and that ultimate team of the season pack. At this point, I knew that I needed to step up. Mbappe scores! So that's exactly what I did. And after scoring 2 goals against this opponent, they ended up forfeiting. And this obviously gave us the win. But winning is something I needed to do a lot more, so in the next 3 games, that's exactly what I did. And it seemed like at this point, we had found our rhythm, because we would go into game after game and score goal after goal, which resulted in us getting these 3 wins. And with not much time left on day 2, winning our 10th game in the Champions Finals was of utmost importance. Pineda finds Sissoko, who finds Mbappe, and that's an easy tap in for Mbappe. Mbappe into Neymar. Can Neymar score? Yes, he moved his keeper out of the way. Di Maria's open. And it's 3-0 early on. We're dominating this game. And that theme would continue throughout the rest of this game, which resulted in us winning this game and ending the day off with 8 wins and only 2 losses. Now since day 3 is the final day before we make our push to the Elite Division, our plan is to finish the Champions Finals, get all of those rewards, and then make as many upgrades to the team as possible. And this is our first game on day 3 win. No, the defense is open. Oh, we need Tomori's team of the season. But we didn't really need a new attacker, because we had Pineda. Yes, lovely finish. And this card was just something else, because it even helped to assist the 3rd goal that we scored in this game. And this goal would cause our opponent to forfeit, which means we won our first game on day 3. And winning is something we'd continue to do on day 3, because after the first game, the next 3 games would go extremely well. We were scoring so many goals and it just seemed like our team was clicking, and as a result of that, we ended up winning these games. This also meant that at this point we only needed 1 more win to achieve 14 wins, so let's go get that win. And heck, maybe I'm even getting better at the game. But my next opponent would show me that I wasn't, because in this game, I'd concede 2 goals and only have enough time to score 1 back. And this meant that we lost this game, and we still had to win 1 for 14 wins. But early on in our next game, Mbappe, we looked like we were on our way to getting 14 wins. And this would be reinforced when Pineda would score a goal in an open net, and we were now 2 goals in the lead. But 2 would quickly become 3, and 3 would quickly become 4, and before I knew it, we'd won this game, and we had just achieved 14 wins. On top of this, we only had 3 losses, and what this means is that if we win our next 2 games out of 3, we can get an upgrade in our rewards that will turn our untradeable ultimate team of the season pack into a tradable one. And knowing just how much more coins we could actually make if this pack was tradable, I went into the next game motivated. And this allowed me to win 2-1 in what was an extremely tough game, and we now just have to win 1 more game out of our last 2. And in our penultimate game, we looked like we were on our way to getting 16 wins. However, at this point, it seemed like I literally forgot how to play, because I ended up conceding 3 goals, and with not much time left in this game, and not much time left in the day, I decided to just forfeit. And this put the weight of our entire Champions Finals on this final game. But once again in this game, it seemed like I just forgot how to defend completely, because I ended up conceding 2 goals early on. But I really wanted to get 16 wins, so I knew that I had to work extremely hard. Mbappe? Yes, that's 1 back, but it was extremely tough to get that goal. And I kept on pressing my opponent, but I just couldn't score that goal, and because time was running out, I decided to activate a constant press. But unfortunately, this caused my defense to be all over the place, and as a result of this, my opponent scored against me on a counter attack, and unfortunately we ended up losing this game and only getting 15 wins. But this means that we do still get an ultimate team of the season pack, it's just not going to be a tradable one. So we only managed to get rank 4 rewards, but these rewards are still incredibly good. And you know what, maybe it was for the best that we only got 14 wins. First ultimate team of the season player pick, Mbappe.
Hello there.
What? No way! Wait, why can't I claim him? No, this can't be real. And eventually, it actually let me claim him. And this was insane. We just packed an attacker worth more than 2.5 million coins, and we still had another ultimate team of the season player pick. Second player pick, can we top our first one? Oh, Varishkiller! And Theo Hernandez. No, I really want to take Theo, but this guy is so expensive on the market, and I feel like if I don't take him, you guys are going to destroy me in the comments. So I had to say goodbye to Theo, but this guy is now part of our team. Okay, first 100k pack, and this one's tradable, which means we can make some coins from it, and we do get a team of the season. German, centre mid. Ah, it's one of the worst ones. But some of these cards still had some value, so I ended up selling them. And it was now time for us to open the ultimate team of the season pack. Okay, it's time for the big boy now. Come on, Mbappe, Messi, Neymar. German. Oh, it's the Stegen. We already have a goalkeeper. But behind him was... Oh, Theo's in the pack as well. And we had to let him go when we picked that other guy. But I really wanted to take him, and now we get him. At this point, I sent Neymar and Mbappe onto the transfer list. And then I sold every other player that was on the transfer list as well. And since our time on day 3 is now up, hopefully by tomorrow these players would have sold. And then we can make some upgrades to this team before pushing into the elite division. So I've slept on it, but I now know what we're going to do with this team. So the first order of business for me was purchasing Tomori's Team of the Season card because we had 500,000 coins. And now at this point, the midfield position was empty because if I had a ward in that position, the team would not have full chemistry. So I ended up purchasing Tonali's Team of the Season card, a player which ended up being way better than I expected him to be, and then also a French League 1 manager. And about 80 hours ago, this is what the team looked like, and now this is what our team looks like, and it's worth roughly 6.5 million coins. It was also now ready for us to push into the elite division, but at this point we ran into a little bit of a problem. You see, if you remember on day 1 we had our season rewards to claim. Now what happens at the end of every season is that every single player gets pushed back 2 divisions. Now since we were in division 1, we got pushed back to division 3, and this meant that we had to start from division 3. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot out of all of that excitement, but we still have to do this 90 plus prime icon player pick. So I built the entire player pick with all of the fodder that we gained, and it was now time for me to redeem myself. Remember, any player better than Baresi is a dub. 90 plus prime icon player pick. Give me on 9? There's no way. And it seems like it was just meant to be. So I ended up taking Baresi, and he's going to be watching us from the bench. But now it's time for us to push from division 3 all the way into the elite division. And these new cards were so much fun to play with. Leao, Fans Kvaratskhelia, into Benjeda, and it's a goal! Because Benjeda was clinical as always. Sissoko, Fans Leao, who beats his man and scores! This is literally the best card I've ever used. And Leao was insane. I called him the best card that I'd ever used. And on top of this, the other guy was exceptional as well, and our opponent could literally not take the ball off of him at all. And I see why they call him Kvaradona, or maybe that's because they don't know how to pronounce his name. But anyway, that caused our opponent to forfeit, and we'd won our first game in division 3. And then we won our second game in division 3. And then at this point, I finally decided to give the series a name, and then to celebrate this name, we went into another game and destroyed another opponent. And this put us on a win streak and allowed us to reach our first checkpoint. And then we won another 2 games in a row, and we reached our second checkpoint. But something was off about that game. It seemed way harder than it should have been. But I put that down to bad matchmaking, and then I destroyed another opponent. And after beating this guy, I matched against him in my very next game, but he just ended up leaving when the game was tied. And this is when I realized the problem. I was now deep in division 3, and finding games took ages. On top of this, when I found a game, it was always the same exact opponents that I'd already found. And as you can see, they just kept on leaving when the game was tied up. And then when I did finally find another opponent, it would end up being an extremely tough game. Leao with the step overs. Yes, we're through. We have to score here. Yes, he's never going to miss from there. Oh, we've got to defend this. Oh, he scores with his Mbappe. This guy's really good. Theo, Fans Leao. Has to be a goal. And it is a goal. I don't know what we do without these cards. Now he has a player open. Oh, our keeper's got to be doing better than that. And as you can see, this game was incredibly tough. And our opponent would even take the lead at this point. But then we'd score 1 back, and then they score 1 again to take the lead. And then Leao would score another goal, and now the game was tied up. And then after this, Leao, come on. We're beating him for speed. And we score! That has to be the winner. And it would end up being the winner. At this point, we were 1 win away from Division 2, and considering how difficult these games were at this point, I knew that winning this game would be extremely crucial for us in our journey to the Elite Division. And knowing this, I went into this game like a man on a mission, and I absolutely destroyed this opponent, and winning this game allowed us to maintain our win streak and make it into Division 2. However, in Division 2, we ran into yet another problem, and the problem was that search times had once again been extended, because it seems like not many players were up this far in the divisions just yet. And then when I'd find a game, I'd find extremely tough opponents, and I'd have to be on top of my game to win these games. Di Maria out wide, Fans Leao, good skill, and I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have this card. Oh no, he has it with Lacazette, but Tomori's there and you're not getting past him. I think I have Leao through here. He beats his man for speed, lovely skill. Oh, and what a goal from Leao! But as you can see, we started having to do a lot more to get a simple goal. Yes, we won the ball back deep in his box. Leao, off the post. scores on the second attempt, and we ended up winning this game. But as you can see, this player has been playing since 2014, and this means he's most likely a high level player, which is why these games were so tough. Our next game would be an extremely tight game as well, but it was a game that we had to win in order to secure a checkpoint. And after Dana gave us a 5-4 lead late on into this game, we won the game and secured the checkpoint. Both the games being extremely tough already, I started to feel like it would be impossible for us to reach the elite division. And this feeling would be amplified when I drew the next game in the 90th minute, and this resulted in us losing our win streak. On top of this, we didn't have much time left, so we needed to make sure that we won every single game that we played. And that's what we did in this game. However, after playing this game, I'd lose, but then win another game. And after that entire sequence, about an hour had gone by, and we were in the same position that we were 3 games before. But I then put 2 and 2 together and realized that these games were so tough because I'm most likely playing against elite division players at this point. Because when the season resets, like I said, you get pushed back 2 divisions. And this means that if you're in the elite division, you get pushed back to division 2. And that's the division which we were currently playing at, and we were also fairly far within this division. But my challenge was to get into the elite division, so I was not going to stop until I made it into the elite division. And if this meant that we needed to beat pro players, then so be it. Pineda layouts through, he shoots, and he scores. But the problem with this level is that if you make one mistake, oh come on, we've got to defend this, your opponent will score with their 94 rated R9. And even if you don't really make a mistake, your opponent Zidane will shoot that ball top bins, and out of nowhere, you would have lost your lead. And it takes a lot to get your lead back. Leao? Yes. But we were working towards doing that. Pineda? That was lovely. And at this point, we just had to maintain this lead. But we did even better than just maintaining our lead. Leao, into header, finds Theo. That was such a good goal. And just like that, we had beat this player. And we were making progress in Division 2. However, after this, we were forced to play a searching simulator, and dozens of minutes would just go by without us even finding a game. And then when we would finally find a game, our opponents would just assume that it's the same person they just played, and they would just leave. At this point, time was running out, and if we wanted to get into the elite division, we were in need of a miracle. But I believed, so I continued to try my best to complete this challenge. Leao. Lovely skill, and a lovely finish as well. And at this point, even though it seemed unlikely that we'd complete our challenge, I was happy because of the fact that I was beating high level players that at one point in my journey could not beat. However, unfortunately at this point, we had run out of time, and we hadn't yet made it into the elite division, which means we failed this challenge. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy one of these ones. So go ahead and click on any of those videos to watch it.